Sometimes people say, well, what is the point? What is the point of everything that we're doing? I mean, and it's a lot of legal technical stuff. Sure, it is. And if you have a legal technical question, we're more than happy to answer that for you. Um, but really, doing a workshop last week, talking to a gentleman in his 80s. In his 80s, he's like 82, something like this. He looks good. He and his wife, they look fine. And, engineer, which means that lots of questions, lots of technical questions, wants to make sure everything's gonna be the way he thinks it's gonna be, and everything's gonna work out okay. So okay, that's fine. We're happy to answer any technical questions. But it made me realize because there were it's like everybody else signed up, right? Everyone else said, "Yeah, let's move ahead with this. Let's get it done." But not this gentleman. And he probably understands on a technical basis better than most of the other folks there exactly how it works. How the trusts work and the different documents and all the rest. Um, Probably. I mean, he asked enough questions, and they were good questions. They weren't silly questions. They weren't, does a witch make this happen? Does a wizard come down from someplace or pop out of a stone and all of a sudden make have to pull a sword out of a stone or something? No, I mean they were good. They were good, reasonable questions. And okay, and this is how this works, and this is how that's. But you know what the difference was? Here's as I'm thinking about this more. The difference was the end game. See, he was all concerned, this gentleman, and I so you know, did his wife share those concerns, or did she have other concerns? Who knows? She didn't say anything. Um, Sometimes you get couples like that. Um, but the other folks, see, here's the thing. Maybe I'm full of baloney, right? Maybe none of this stuff works. Okay, fine. I've only been at it for 34 years and got literally thousands of cases where it did. But you could, if you didn't know me very well, if you weren't listening to the show or whatever, you could say, "Whoa, I don't think that stuff works." Well, okay, okay, and I can explain it all to you and show you the results. And here's the way it goes. Um, and you could still say, "Oh, that's not true." No evidence for it, but and I've got plenty to show you. This is how it actually works. Plus, I'm still here still crazy after all these years. Um, it still works. The failure is on the it seems to me, and it's my failure because it's my job to, as I see it, my job to make sure this guy doesn't throw his life savings away. My job to make sure this guy doesn't throw his house away. Make sure, that his wife is taken care of. What I mean? That's my job because that's what this stuff does. When you implement these techniques, call them techniques, strategies, whatever you want to say. The consequence is that you hang on to your stuff. Hmm. All right. But you see, that's pretty, when you get into legal technical, it's like, okay, well, this works like this and that works like that. It's like, are you gonna buy a vehicle, right? And he's an engineer, so I don't know what we didn't get really into too far into what kind of engineering he does. But it's like, is that why people plan? Like right now, if you don't have a plan, okay, and you've been listening for a while, you know how this stuff works. Logically, you know that long-term care is coming for most of us, if not all of us. And the older you get, the closer it gets, right? I mean, you know that. Look around. What happened to your friends? Okay. I mean, this is reality. This is not Dave Carrier making this stuff up. This is what actually happens. Okay. So then my question to myself is, well, how have I failed? If I have explained, and I hear lawyers doing this all the time. Oh, I told them all this, like explaining things. And it's like nobody cares about the explanation. I wish they did. right? I mean, I look at the work we do sometimes, and I'm just like, "Oh, whoa, that's really cool," because of I don't know what you would call it, the way we made it work. We figured this one out, we figured that one out, and put it together like this and that. And oh, that from my side, it looks great. And I've worked with enough engineers over time. I know that when they come to an elegant solution, they like it. It feels good to them, right? But what does it mean if you're an engineer? What does it mean to the person who benefits from your work? Okay. Does it mean, oh, look at I did, I did the screw this way, so then it feeds like this and it doesn't jam up. Okay. What is the person who asked you to do the job, what does that look like to them? Does that look like a elegant solution? Does that make them give them the warm glow of, wow, I don't know how you do that better. I can't even imagine how you would do that better. No, because all they want is the part to come out of the machine so that they can do whatever it is that they want to do, right? And that's kind of where we go on this. I'm gonna try, but I realize that I fail, from time to time because it's not about the legal technical. I mean, I wonder sometimes, do I go too deep into the okay, this how this works because the Medicaid system works like this, and Medicare works like that, and Social Security works like this, and you got your IRAs over here, and you got your 401(k)s over there, and and you put all this stuff together, and then if you need skilled care, and there's a very high probability that you will, according to the federal government, and so I'm making all these logical arguments. It's like, logically, does this make sense? Well, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, logically, it makes sense. You put the things together. I can show you how it works. I'm more than happy to, take the time and explain it all. Faithful listeners know. I mean, faithful listeners probably bored of hearing all the technical crap, right? And it got me to thinking, well, okay, is it really all about the technical stuff, right? Is it all about the structure? I mean, like I like the structure when I see something come together for a family, right? It gives me a sense of uh well, pride. Why not pride? Yeah, it's like, wow, we didn't do that all by ourselves, of course, and we didn't do the most important part. You did. You already did that. Okay. So what is it that gets in the way of somebody realizing the goals? And it's like, I get it. You don't want to trust just because it's really cool, just because it works really well, and you've got a bigger bank account. I mean, that's not the goal of life, is it? To die with the biggest bank account? I don't think it is. I don't think so. Yeah, we all work, so you've been working as long as you can remember. I have been, since I'm 7 years old, delivering newspapers on snowy days. Beautiful thing about a real snow day like today is Dad would help out with the my father would take the station wagon out and help us with the Sunday papers, so we didn't have to do those all by ourselves. So that was a good deal. But the point is, it isn't about the money, right? It isn't about the legal technical. That's all logical type stuff. Um, Something else going on that's much more important, it seems to me.